Hi everyone, welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. My name is Mina Crichton. Today's date is the 26th of May 2025. I'm the narrator of this video clip and every other video clip on my YouTube channel, and anything to do with me as far as my court case, my personal testimony, my identity, my entity, my ideas, anything to do with my existence on Earth. So today I'm just gonna start off as usual. Try and keep this video clip short and just get straight onto the topic that's actually on my heart. That's for that I should talk about today for today's clip. Like I said, I'm going to try and keep everything in the moment because I know everyone is watching. And yeah, so there's something in my video clips for everyone, whether not everything may not be relatable to your set of circumstances, because everyone's set of circumstances is different. But this is my set of circumstances. Also, if you're litigating your case, every case is a case by case basis, but this is my own personal journey and the laws that I use that are relevant in my case. So it is the New World Order system. If you're self-litigating or into any kind of law, civil law or any kind of law or criminal law, so you can just take bits and pieces what's relevant to you. For me, I think the main laws that you should actually really focus on if you're going to be a lawyer is or not only just whatever field you're going to be a lawyer for, but also be mindful of the criminal laws, because criminal laws overrides every other laws in any generation. That hasn't changed, even though they've changed the system a lot. But when it comes to criminal cases, like serious fraud cases relating to anything to do with people's personal property, money laundering purposes, trafficking in person cases, the criminal laws overrides all the other laws, even when they've made contracts or they've actually made some kind of legal whatever it is behind the scene. Criminal law overrides all those laws and undoes everything, especially when it has to do with an individual's personal existence. Okay, so for example, if a victim got murdered, every single thing about them and their personal property, which is their personal profile, their existence, all gets undone. So criminal law overrides all the clauses of any other laws involving the actual individual. So meaning accessory after the fact cases are easy to put together. Well, not really easy. It takes a lot of hard work to get it, accurately, but no one can actually do it accurately other than the person themselves. Meaning if it's because it's my personal property and it's all about me, I can actually, articulate the evidence as accurate. Cases like mine after the fact is easy to actually put together in the court. So accessory after the fact crimes, that's what would fall anything to do with me personally while I was working for my employer, or anything to do that has hurt me, harmed me, or any serious wrongdoing done upon me, any serious offences upon me as an individual that is unresolved. It can easily be undone. So this accessory after the fact comes into the cases is one of the offences that definitely comes into it, and it's 10 years or more, or 7 years. It just kind of depends. Sometimes it's a lot more than that. Like, charges accumulate as the investigation is in process. Okay, quite clearly I'm a lockout situation. Okay, so every single law in the legislation has been broken upon me as an individual. So it does become, like as the years go by, as things are being ignored or not being resolved, the offences accumulates and it increases. So because of the length of time all this have gone on, it is now crimes against humanity. But this is what actually happens. There's definitely an illegal lockout situation for any individual. Okay, so this can happen to anybody, so keep that in mind. It can happen to you while you're at work. I've had a lot of time. Solitude makes you be aware of so much. It allows you to heal. It allows, everything come back to you in the right perspective, mindset, and everything. The reality of your set of circumstance, according to law. Unfortunately, the reality of what I've had to face, the reality of my situation. Yes, I have definitely been a victim of trafficking by force or trafficking in persons. There's different kinds of ways a person can be trafficked, okay? But this is the new age, modern day trafficking in persons cases where individuals are forced to live in limbo, and then they are being micromanaged or surveillance. Okay, so that is the predicament for many of us now because of the new age system and the recordings and but it is definitely illegal still because, it's like it's just sinking conclusion really. It's like a third world order system. Okay, so we've got like this perpetrator, it's hard to explain what I'm trying to say, but if you're in a lockout situation, it's like you're almost starting all over again after years of having everything, having the good life, enjoying life as normal with normal people that isn't being micromanaged or as a puppet for another person, and then all of a sudden your environment changes and everything becomes difficult and you feel isolated. You feel it. You feel like you're in some kind of incarceration, but the people you're talking to are also being micromanaged by other people. But it is definitely, you are in a lockout situation if that is the case. This can happen to anyone, can happen to any family, any group. The dangerous thing about it is global. Okay, so always expect the unexpected and also stay alert. It's really easy for other people to steal off innocent civilians because a lot of them don't know how to defend themselves, and and then to have all these other people just they can lie. They're not actually abiding to the law. They can easily plan and plot using their jobs as a method to conspire and to easily destroy and rob people of their assets or anything that they may have, and even set them up to be murdered. Okay, so in reality, if that's the case, it means a person is being deprived of their right of life. They are being animated or inanimate, or where substitute is used. If you're watching my video clips, I think you'll get the picture now. But that is my reality of my situation. Going back working for my employer, they were just, I started from privacy breaches, which eventually accumulated into warlike crimes. So you're either the victim or the offender. You cannot be both. I have been the actual victim, unfortunately. Historically, that's the reality of it. While the opposing allies have made out, have defamed and turned my life into a game, like I'm kind of the ogre or, the bad person, but I definitely am not the bad person. Okay, we're dealing with internal corruption. Okay. I am definitely being black market or blacklisted. case, which is a very serious case. Once again, guys, keep in mind it's a global game historically, and this is all they're doing. They're just watching behind the scene, but it's a global thing. So somebody, you don't know who it is watching your every single move. So that's a really, really serious, dangerous thing for anybody and everyone. So just look out for the signs. It's really easy for them to steal, to kidnap. People just disappear. It's really easy, okay? And we don't know who it is, but they just need to just study you, target you. You could be a powerful, prominent person and you don't know that people are actually targeting you. It's a slow progress of a downhill spiral of someone taking you downhill for financially secretly. They're watching your every move. They just sit back and wait, and then that's when they attack, whether they do a switch or they interpret whatever you're doing according to what they think it is when it's actually not true. So this is the kind of case you're all watching. So what I've gone through, I basically have personally experienced myself, and it is definitely 100% a global trafficking in persons case involving several countries, maybe, and even different states. But I am the original. They've just used different people every time to secretly steal. They've locked me out, blocked me out, or as soon as something good is happening, they steal it. And that's what I've been used for historically, and that's illegal. And the penalty for that is 20 years imprisonment. A body corporate can be charged that too, and so can an individual. So if a body corporate gets charged, they'll be treated like a normal human being, meaning the CEO gets into trouble and all its members involving that. That includes the government agencies. As you have noticed, if you've been watching me, some of the people in government have actually been standing down. I have reason to believe a lot of it has been linking to me. Then they use their money to protect their privacy, or if they go to prison, they're protected too, so the public doesn't know. Unfortunately, they don't let the victims know that they're actually a victim to some pretty serious crimes, but then this new world order system, they just let the victims live in limbo. And that's my personal experience. It has not, their stealing and thieving has not stopped. They've used me for relationship scams with the intent to steal, block, or anything. That I've even applied for jobs or applied for things, and I've had that feeling that somebody was gonna, they're stealing. They at the last minute decline me, but they're actually secretly giving it to somebody else. But all those things can be investigated. Anything to do with tax invasion, anything to do with anything that I've been involved with, all that gets undone in the criminal jurisdiction, and that's where my case actually falls under. Meaning, I, as a victim, I will find out and get to know within my right to find out who are my enemies and who are my perpetrators. I have found it hasn't stopped. It has not stopped. It's personal victimization, and it's taking away somebody else's life, or somebody else is benefiting from it. It's illegal. But this is how it is actually set out. It is another form of a Ponzi scam. The state human lottery. Okay, so they've actually used me like a stray. Okay, so they've taken away all my rights, and that is what the evidence will show on my profile. They've taken away my rights, and then they've used different members of the public to stalk, follow me. So everyone's sort of kind of taken turns. I know that my family members or people in the original, going back to when I was working for my employer, everyone, the originals, they were probably, some of them all participated, but a lot of them knew it was wrong. A lot of them actually left their job because of it. So there's a lot of witnesses involved. Me, when I was working, and what happened within the office. There was harassment following stalking. So it means somebody's going around undermining and telling them, what to do and not to do. People have left because of fear of their job, or don't want to be involved, or they know it's wrong. So all that's, that was my work environment when I was working, and all I could do in the moment at that point of time was make complaints. And there's sufficient evidence of historical cybercrime and me being victim to a Ponzi scam or human lottery. So I've been actually litigating my case historically, but they're actually secretly stealing in between. So that's why I've made my case public, and I realised as time went on that I was actually being used by other people for a pecuniary advantage. And I've also, it's also dedicated to other people who is unaware of trafficking in persons. I had a friend who I was helping at one point in time, and as time have gone on, I realised her situation is exactly what I've gone through, a downhill spiral linking to everything she told me. I just have this gift. I know when someone's telling me the truth or when someone is lying, and I knew what she was telling me was true, but it was a situation was I didn't know how to help her. All I could do was just do what I can in the moment at the time that I was with her, and then she just disappeared. But definitely she was linked to a cybercrime historically, or it was used for a pecuniary advantage. So I have already mentioned her on my other video clip. So my video clip on YouTube channel is actually dedicated to trafficking and persons victims. Okay, these are the kind of things that happens, and it's your word against them. It's it's against secret societies, breaking the law. You just know in your gut something's not right. I suggest that if you're used to listening to your own natural instincts, to actually not ignore them, because it's in everyone. And as years go by, some things it takes a while to actually reveal after putting it together. And because I have been consistent historically, my profile looks really bad. There's clear evidence that I have definitely been used for trafficking in persons, and for a pecuniary advantage, and money laundering and relationship scams. Okay, guys, so we're dealing with white-collar crimes. Okay, these kind of things have always happened in every generation, but what I've gone through is worse now than ever before. It's worse because innocent civilians, if you get lured into it or trapped in it, it's very hard to get out of it. Their intention is to make a person homeless and to keep them down, or to keep them from being able to go forward, or anything backfiring on them legally. So, but it's law is the law. But there's definitely white collar crimes are definitely involved in there. Okay, and they are using the weaker humans to carry out their motives and the intentions, whatever it is. They are cheating in their court cases, and that is my personal experience, and that's not good either. Okay, over time, the victims end up being a slave. Anyone can be a slave. Okay, that's the reality of it. I know everyone wants just to live a nice, quiet, peaceful life, and when things happen, just ignore it and just accept it as if something's normal and natural. But reality is, an expert can actually tell whether a person is actually being used for a pecuniary advantage. and then all of a sudden all their rights are gone. All of a sudden they're pushed out, and their circumstance change. All of a sudden everything changed by force. You have no choice but to adapt and to adapt to the set of circumstances and the changes, and learn how to survive. But if you're able to put a case together, it will clearly show that you've actually been used as a slave. So unfortunately, that's the reality of my case. People have used me as a slave. So now the charges go up to 14 years, and it also falls under crimes against humanity, which is life and even genocide. Okay, guys, we know that there's nothing clever about cybercrime or people with evil mindsets. They tend to do the same old thing. But these are the kind of things they do. They are glued to everything you're doing. They're doing this. Okay, they're trying to create family violence. They just sit and wait, but they need to be able to spy and stalk. Gangs are used. Members of public are all involved. They're just inciting and coding people. So if people are coming out of their homes, acting out things like throwing something in the rubbish, or just to let you know something, some negative inclination, it means it's very likely you and your family may be subject to something like that, and your privacy is gone. It also means you're secretly exploited by people you don't know. But this alliance is definitely an evil alliance. It's a gang. It's another form of gangs. They're using their cars and their jobs. They're using their jobs like a weapon. Okay, so they've got everyone in your personal space out to take you down, whether spiritually, financially, or eventually to eliminate. Okay, so if they've been in your space to eliminate anything to do with they're actually telling you. That's how personal it is. Like you can talk to them, they actually tell you their intention. That's how confident they are. It's another sign you're glued to them. Okay, so I had that experience with one of the doctors who she actually said to me it was up to my doctor to eliminate. And I was like, I didn't think about it of anything until later on, and then I just knew. I knew I was being used for a pecuniary advantage. I was being used for a slave. But these are the kind of things they're actually telling you. So don't ignore that. They're even telling it to you indirectly. That's all signs that you're not safe. It's all sign that you are at a very high risk set of circumstances. Okay, because that's not normal. And sensible people wouldn't be doing anything like that. I don't know why they do it, but it's all part of the game. Okay, when it's global, it's more dangerous. Everyone is lying to you. I've had people lie to me. They've set up plots in advance. They've used their jobs as a tool, and then they've lied. So I have found that they've been so close to everything I'm doing, and it's too intimate. Too illegally intimate, glued to somebody's soul, somebody's emotions, somebody's actions. They're reading everything I'm doing. They're listening. And then they know when to hurt somebody, and they just listen and watch and wait. It's that immediate that it can actually cause somebody to have a heart attack because of the pain and suffering that's intentional. But all that, whoever is participating on the other side, whether on the phone calls or whatever, they all can be charged, believe it or not. Okay. But this is how the best way to describe what I've gone. It's like another form of human sacrifice by those who are, who are very staunch about their barbaric ways. Okay, so just because somebody in government may be wearing a uniform, but behind the scene their beliefs are quite barbaric, and that hasn't changed. Okay, they've just, everyone's in more serious danger now. It just makes it easier for them to destroy, to rob and kill people without getting caught. And that's a very serious predicament for everyone, the public and those in government. All right, guys, so if you're going through anything I'm going through, Their mindset is they are actually demolishing of a human being. So you could be targeted for that if you're going through what I'm going through. Okay, it's really serious. It also, everyone's end up betraying everyone. Everyone turns on everyone. So even trusting somebody or trusting somebody new into your life could put your own life at risk. Okay, because they could be a perpetrator for the people historically who have tried to kill you or have killed other people. That's the danger the original is in. Okay, because especially if it's been a long period of time like I've gone through, but you either get better or worse. But if you're a survivor of it, you've just got to be extra careful because they are poisoning people intentionally. I've had all that happen to me. Okay, they secretly do poison you. They're lying to you. They could serve you over the counter in a takeaway and put something in because it's just you. I've had all those kind of things happen. They can spit in your order. They talk kindly, but they hate your guts. That is the reality. Okay, so anyone that does that, contaminating people's water, food, anything that's done intentionally to poison them or put water or drink. I know they've poisoned food I've eaten. I've known that because I know myself. I'm a very healthy person. I micromanage my own health. I just know my limits. I know what I'm, I know myself better than any doctor, okay? And I've had bad experiences with doctors, but they are using their job as like a weapon, okay? They're using their jobs for the wrong reasons, and they can lie to you that something is wrong with you when nothing is actually wrong with you, and then you end up worse off because you trusted them. Okay, but if this is happening, it is penalty. There is a Crimes Act 1969. The penalty is 10 years imprisonment. Okay, but if these things are happening to you, it's a sign that you are targeted. You got to be extra careful with what you drink, what you buy for food. You feel like you're in a third world order, it's because you're locked out, because they've already contaminated. They've already studied you as an individual. Heaps of people have stolen of you. Maybe people linked to you are already murdered. Something's happened linking to you. You could be targeted just because you're a witness to something, or for any reason, or for organ harvesting. Okay, you could be locked out even for that. Just for someone wants to kill you for your organs. But that is the reality of this new age system. Nobody is safe. So that's just something for you all to think about. Okay, so those who've been watching my YouTube channel and everything quite clearly, I'm known as a whistleblower. Okay, a whistleblower is not somebody who is a criminal. A whistleblower is not someone who's broken laws. They're usually people who are the victims to people in government who have actually broken laws. So they've been secretly targeted for those reasons because they're trying to protect their own reputation, or they know that, or they've known that they've gone over the boundaries of serious wrongdoing, serious misconduct, or they're sticking up for someone who have committed some pretty serious crimes. So that is the predicament of anyone who stands up against something that is wrong. So that's where we're at. Okay, cases like mine, everyone who has had unlawful access can all be charged because there's sufficient evidence for espionage, and it's 14 years imprisonment. And it's a corporate body case. So, yeah. But they are using their jobs, I have found. That is my personal experience. I've gone to apply for stuff. and that they'll say yes about something, then they'll decline it. Sometimes they're deliberately declining stuff to put you at the back of the line. So it's that kind of a thing where the enemy is already encamped, that you're blacklisted you're on somebody's blacklisted, you and your family, and all the signs are there that their motive and intent is to blacklist you, and all the in between happens, and everything is not safe anymore. So yeah, just do your best to stay public. Don't go anywhere by yourself. Keep tabs. If you do have people you can trust, then just tell somebody, and to try not to do it alone. Okay, so in cases like mine, everything that the person is using, their texts and everything, is used as evidence. So if you're communicating with somebody online or anything, all that as evidence can be used. But there are a lot of imposters. Like, this new age system has got a lot of imposters. Anyone overseas can animate and steal everything about you and your family, your assets, and pretend to be somebody they're not. Alright guys, so this is what we're up against: motive and intent. It's a slave system, and I will continue to update everyone in regards to my court cases as they continue. At this point in time, I'm going through quite a lot. I'm just waiting on a response from IPCA. I've just responded to them to a memo. It is a global game, and I'm contesting all the unlawful strikes. So my case is definitely serious wrongdoing of gross miscarriage of justice, and it entails people perverting the course of justice or impeding rescue. IPCA is guilty of that. For those that don't know what IPCA is, it's Independent Police Conduct Authority, but they are in the mainstream of judiciary. Okay, so I get a bit frustrated when I receive memos and stuff from barristers, and I can tell by their inexperience, and I'm very experienced, I'm very knowledgeable, because it's about me, and a lot of people know what I'm like in the professional legal, like with my job. I'm very professional minded. I'm a different person when it comes to legal or my professional work. I'm like a no nonsense sort of a person. So I did get, because I got a memo from the barrister. I'm going to give them time to respond before I put anything on YouTube, or because they do know. Okay, I'm not breaking any laws, for those that know. I want that are new on board. I'm the victim of crimes. Ever since I did my court case from 2016, I did try to transfer the case to the criminal jurisdiction. That never happened, even though I had submitted all the legal documents that's what I wanted to happen to the case. I initiated the case. I was the plaintiff, and then they kind of like turn it around. So I have not stopped telling the judges in some of the cases. I've told them that I wanted it to go to criminal, or I've brought it to their attention. It's a criminal case, and that's where it should be, the criminal jurisdiction. So I'm not breaking any laws. They are aware that right from the beginning that I've gone public because I've needed public intervention. I've ignored it. So for those that don't know, that is what you call a malfunction of a government systems, because I've exhausted the system. Okay, so the problem is that I am the victim of crimes, and I have found that they have not stopped attacking me. Okay, they're cheating, they're stealing, and they're very likely doing that to everybody else in the same, who are in the same boat as I am. So this would actually come under when you do set aside judgment. for miscarriage of justice. Miscarriage of justice, for those that don't know, is for when those in fiduciary duty who have actually broken laws, who've committed perjury. Okay, that's what miscarriage of justice is, as far as the law is concerned, meaning that people within public office or in government, involving my case, have committed miscarriage of justice. Unlawful judgments is miscarriage of justice. Okay. Interesting enough, I've been doing my research online and reading up what other people describe what miscarriage of justice is. Not everything online is true. Okay, so just take it from me. Whatever you do, don't take everything. I've used some of the other people's website, but not everything is true. From my personal opinion, my personal experience, and a lot of it's common sense. Not everything online is true. If you're unsure, I think the best way to research is actually the library. Okay, I'm that advanced. I just know what is true and what is not, or when something has been interpreted incorrectly. So what I am actually interpreting, I'm interpreting the laws that are relevant to me and to my case personally. It doesn't mean it's the same situation for you. It's a case by case basis. The only people that can actually agree with me are a criminal barrister or a criminal judge with the same experience. Otherwise, it's just foreign language for those that have no idea or what the heck I'm talking about. So I just suggest, if you're doing research online, don't believe everything you research online. Not everything, because I've researched online, and I would recommend some if I felt it was, that's good. But I've researched online and I can tell, accuracy straight away, or some things are known. That's not exactly how it is. But if you are unsure or learning or studying for school and stuff, go to the library. I think it's a good place to start. But they've taken a lot of things away from the library too, so that's a bit hard. Also, just research on people that are old school, people that have, that are highly recommended by other people, because there's like, you find a lot of the things that are happening back in those other generation are very relevant, and they're actually happening in this generation. They've just interpreted it to suit the modern day everything. The English, I believe the English in this generation is bad. It's not good. But even the way the teaching, and if you're learning off online, just be very careful. Not everything is true. Not everything is exactly accurate. So that's from my own personal experience with researching online. But if you're going to research, go to the library. I think the library is the best place to look. But I'm pretty advanced in what I do know a lot of things. I have my own secrets of knowing and how to research and what is the truth. So, but the only people that can actually relate to me is an experienced criminal barrister or an experienced judge. So if you're a new lawyer or anything, experience takes a very long time to get it accurate. The whole idea is not to write unlawful judgments. The whole idea is that what you're doing is not going to cause somebody else hardship, or going to disadvantage a life, or pervert the course of justice. The main thing is you whatever law degree you got, or whatever field you're working, you don't want to be doing something that's going to backfire, because criminal law always backfire. Okay, if you've done something wrong, like I'm saying, experience take a long time. And this new age system, I have found cybercrime. I found people sharing information, like other people have talked about to another person for advice. Be sure your advice from the other person is not trading in influence is a reason why that is illegal. It's because it doesn't influence the judge's decision on a case. So basically, if you're going to be mixing with other judges or mixing with other people, just be careful about that, because you just don't know. That person may already know about that person, and they may be related. They may be biased or prejudiced or trying to cover up. That's the reason why trading in influence is very, 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 very serious. So very serious, because you end up making the wrong decision, moved by the people rather than administrating law and justice. Okay, so it is unlawful strikes I'm up against. So I'm just going to let IPCA respond and see which route they want to go with what I'm going through. I'm keeping my court cases in the moment. As I'm guided, I will put more evidence, but that is what I wanted to talk about today. I am definitely in a lockout situation. I did make a hint to the barrister involved that the civil jurisdiction is only for where parties sort out their grievances. The civil jurisdiction is only for if someone's done wrong, that's the opportunity to put things right, whether they will agree to settle and make the other party do what the other party wants, and then they can make some kind of settlement. If not, then it goes to criminal. It does not stop there. So meaning, even if the people die or whatever, another an honest serious fraud office can pick up that file and go over it, and you can still get charged for anything. That's how it works in the criminal law. The whole idea is integrity, public safety, and keeping the government system honest. Okay, so that is the consequences of unlawful strikes and lockouts. So for those that don't know, IPCA, when we're sending out complaints to them, it actually goes to a judge. So that's where it stops. But so I did give a hint. I mean, I could give them a list of stuff, but I thought, I've been you can do it yourself. Well, I when I see their stuff, I'm just like, you got to be joking, right? But that's what I have found, is that's why they're also coding and expecting other people to help them win a case. That is illegal. That is, you will lose your job. You will lose your license, and you will put your whole company at risk of being shut down. Because, I didn't know they were doing all this going back to 2010, but I have a reasonable belief, and I'm quite sure without a shadow of doubt, they were doing secret petitions, and that explains why my environment was hostile. And, I was just like, why are all these people acting this way? It's just like really weird. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I just knew something wasn't right. I didn't feel safe, although I did all the right things and to stay safe, but I knew I wasn't safe. Okay. So that is what they're doing. And we all know everybody wants to be superior over another person, or be superior over another culture, or be superior over another country, or whatever you want to call it, or be superior over another religion. But those your feelings of superior doesn't come into it. Okay, it doesn't mean anything to the judge. The law comes into it. We won't be judged by how we feel and our emotions. We'll be judged by our acts, what we say in written, or what we say orally or in writing. That is what the government system is all about, to keep people honest and to protect innocent civilians, not protect the criminals and the defendants. So unfortunately, in my case, the Crown is the offender. Even though I have already pressed criminal charges on 2 body corporates, and in the processes of that, They are legally charged now. It's just going through the processes. But I suggest you get advice of a criminal judge or criminal barrister, because I am pretty experienced. I do know what I'm doing. I have found it frustrating, instead of the experienced barristers coming into court, fighting it out with me in court, they've sent their juniors or inexperienced people, and making, them look like a fool in court, because that's exactly what happened. I've won every single court case, and they know it. But that's not fair what you're doing on me. I'm trying to go forward. I want to put closure to everything. All they've done is put everyone else at risk. And I just do not have that kind of sense of humour of what they're doing to people, taking their liberty away, and inciting like they have. It's just immature. Only fools do that. I'm not a fool. I'm not immature. And I don't play games with that kind of thing, on other people's liberty or other people's weaknesses. That's been a bully. And that's not why we have a government. So just keep at it. And I'm quite sure the right people will remove you, just like all the others in the past. So I'll leave it at that. But having people officially in your business, it's illegal. And that's what everyone has done. They are officially in my business, officially interfering, officially sabotaging, officially impeding rescue, officially stealing, officially making up their own mind. So there's sufficient evidence to make body corporates liable for serious wrongdoing historically. Okay, so we're dealing with blue collar and white collar crime offences. Okay, so if you're an honest person working in the government, just say no. Okay, if you're brand new, make sure you ask the right things. Ask a senior about your job. If you're unsure and you don't want to do it, get someone senior to do it, okay? Because I have found the people involved in what I'm going through are using the new staff or people inexperienced to deal with me because they already know. So I have found it really frustrating. They've given me wrong information, or they've lied, or they've just won't go any further. I've asked for a manager to come to the counter, or can I talk to a manager, or can I have an email to a manager, or can I have a phone call to a manager, or can I have a phone call to their CEO or national office, and I get a no. That's what they've done. They've literally locked me out in between I'm fighting for my life, fighting to try and go forward. So that's what's happened to me, and it's not funny situation. It's a very serious situation, and I know that my social media platform is definitely working. And I'm quite sure, God willing, everything will change for the better for everyone slowly, because that's the whole idea of why I am doing what I'm doing. Basically I just feel, your motive and your intent behind the scene, God is just exposing it. I have known, never in my life, I have known any judges write any unlawful strikes ever. Never, ever. It's just a no-no. And I'm within my right to make everything correct legally. Those unlawful strikes, for those that don't know, judgments, anything legal, they're forever. Okay, so unless anything that people write about you in fiduciary duty, whether it's a doctor or medical practitioner, they're forever. They're your records. They're the things that people rely on when you die, or they need to investigate. That's why it's important to make those things correct. So social media, anything you put on social media is forever. So I guess my opponent is trapped because they now are forced to make the right decision involving me as far as my court cases. So yeah, so that's where we're at publicly, globally with my case. And anyone can just pick up my file and take over if I don't make it. But anyway, we'll just take things one day at a time. But I'll keep everyone updated, and I thank you for those that are watching. Just, take what I say seriously. Not everything may be relatable to you, or you may not even agree, but some of these things are what my personal experience, like my word against the opposing allies, the secret societies secretly breaking the law because they think they can. Okay, but I'm experienced. I know the law. I know what is right. I know what is wrong. And no, I have not accepted being victimized and abused and people using me for a pecuniary advantage. No, I have not consented to be a human sacrifice. I don't actually believe in human sacrifice. It's illegal. But this is where I'm at. And I'm just going to take one day at a time. And at this point of time too, okay, we're talking about liberty here. We're talking about me being used for a relationship scam. It's quite clear what's going on behind the scene. So once again, I'm denouncing any other secret societies, claiming, making up their lies about Henry Cavill. He's not talking to any secret female secretly. He's very much like me, and I'm very much like him. We're very close. At this point of time, nothing has changed. He knows that I'm doing what I'm doing. He supports it 100%. He's a very private person. He is not into games like I am. Okay, so really it's my word against those women who claim that he is talking, he's with him. He's not. Okay. But I think if I were you, I think you know very well where we're going with this. So you're either the offender or you're the victim. And at this point of time, if you're making up lies, building illusions, you're at risk of being charged of a criminal offence at any point of time. So I am denouncing any relationship scams with any other women, with Henry relating to him. Nothing has changed as far as that is concerned. Like I said in my other clips, I would make a public announcement if we ended up not being together romantically or anything like that. At this point of time, we are still very much close. Nothing has changed at all, and he has no intention, or nor do I have any intention of changing our set of circumstances, rather than just going with whatever wherever God leads us. So just ignore the public lies, everyone, okay? At this point in time, but I will keep you guys updated as time goes on. But I have been used for illegal Commonwealth games by using substitutes and relationship scams. Okay, guys. Oh, one more thing. I was meant to talk about this, but pregnancy blood tests are actually 100% accurate. Okay, this is from my own personal experience. Anything to do with blood tests, they usually are accurate. However, if you feel in your heart that they're lying to you, I suggest you always get a second or a third opinion about anything. Okay. Unfortunately, those that are vulnerable and don't have the money to do that, that's a very serious predicament. But my personal experiences is true medical practitioners have lied to me. They have failed me. So I have no confidence in them because of what they have done to me historically. They did use the Mental Health Act on me for the purpose to make everybody, for the purpose of the game and for the purpose of a massive cover-up of stealing and using me illegally, like an app or a project. That is their scientific experiment they've done on me. That is illegal. But I know without a shadow of doubt, God will make them all accountable, and hopefully it will all be public because it's public interest case, and everyone has that right to know the truth, and everyone has that right to protect themselves, make sure these things don't happen to their own family, and also to make the government honest and keep, the government, the honest people in government honest, safe too, what I'm saying, because there's nothing worse than having a corrupt system. But if pregnancy tests, blood tests are always accurate, in my personal experience. So, and also I have found that part of the experiment I've gone, the people who are giving advice to us, some of them don't even have children. You don't know anything about them. Question all that before you make a final decision. That's all I have to say about that. Okay, do your homework if you can afford the money. Do your homework if you can afford somebody to that you trust. Do your homework and get the best care that you can. But from my own personal experience, anything pregnancy blood test is, they say it's 99% accurate, but I say it's 100. It's never been wrong. So I've actually pressed the Ministry of Health for 29 charges, and there are a lot of other things that could easily be charged for, but that is what I wanted to actually talk about today too. So my case is definitely 100% a criminal case against body corporate conspiracy offences. So it's individual or body corporate. This new age system is actually designed one way, okay? So it's either one way corruption or one way integrity, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, they've dug up my past, they've accused me of all kinds of things, but I'm telling you, before God, before the law, they don't have anything against me. But now they're in big trouble because I've put all the judgments on social media as part of my court case. I'm not doing anything illegal because I am the victim of crimes, and I have actually exhausted the system. So I'm not breaking any laws. No one can take me to court and try and sue me for anything. All this falls on the government, on the judiciary now. So that is where IPCA is at. They have that chance to come with an agreement with me, and I know that I've got the global attention now of all the honest people watching my cases and my case, and I just know God's definitely stepping in slowly but surely. Okay, so I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm sorry I've gone too long with this, but that's what's on my heart today. I will keep everybody up to date as time progress. I'm very busy in the next few weeks because I'm going through other stuff at the moment. So I will just keep everybody updated just so everyone knows I'm okay and I'm safe, because I know I've got a lot of people that actually do love me. Okay, I know there's more people that love me than hate me. So that's at the people's own risk who hates me. If you guys want to keep on breaking the law, you're just setting yourself up. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Thank you.